Alright, so let's look at this chapter 1 review. And then you can keep this in your notebook. Because basically what I did was, I went to my math lab, opened up your homework assignment for this chapter 1 review and printed it out, basically. But when you go in and do it, of course your numbers and stuff will be different, but how to work the problems is the same, because it's the same problem, different numbers, if that makes sense. Alright, so if you look at number 1 here, number 1 says, employees at a company constantly reorganize and reshelve merchandise. In doing so, they calculate floor space needed for displays. The algebraic expression L times W, which is length times width, gives the floor space needed in square units for a display that measures length in L units and width in W units. Calculate the floor space needed for a display whose length is 6.3 feet and whose width is 6 feet. So it's a long problem, basically to tell you that we got some space here, and they're telling you that the length is 6.3 feet and the width was 6 feet. And they want us to calculate the floor space needed. So our floor space, they actually want to cover this. And they tell us the expression is L times W. So really we're just going to multiply that. L times W, so 6.3 times 6. So what's that? Everybody got that multiplied? Got a calculator? Alright, so it's just 37.8. So it says the floor space needed is 37.8, and then we are in feet. Now we are in feet. And actually, whoa, that's not right, is it? It's square feet. Because when we take the area, we are in square. Unit square. So this is 37.8 square feet. Or feet squared. So this is what we would call an area problem. And again, when you do your homework, it'll be similar to this. You'll have different numbers. So again, this is just a review. Number 2 says find 8.7x when x is 2.7. So they're telling you x is 2.7. We want to find 8.7x. So 8.7 times 2.7. So let's see what that is.
23.49.
I really didn't hear you. 23 point what?
49.
23.49. Alright. And again, when you get in my math lab, just do whatever your answer is. Number 3. Find 4x plus y when x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 4. So for every x, I'm plugging in 10. For every y, I'm plugging in 4. So that is my procedure. X is equal to 10, y is equal to 4. 4 times 10, what's 4 times 10?
41.
Plus 4. Yeah, so this one is just 44. Again, this is just review. Hopefully it's just review. Hopefully there's no problems on here you've never seen before. Alright, number 4. Evaluate. What's negative 3 squared? That is 9. Negative 3 squared is the same as negative 3 times negative 3, which is 9. Alright, what about 5 here? Find the value of AB. When I have AB written like this, what does that mean? That is multiplying. So find the value of AB when A is 9 over 11 and B is 10 over 11. So they want us to multiply this. I'm sorry, what? It said what?
The problem is, the same with, the third problem
Is it? Here. Here. Are those the same? Are those the same?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, no problem. Oh, what was up with that? Maybe I printed an extra one or something. Alright, so AB, so we're multiplying A times B. So 9 over 11 times 10 over 11. Now normally I would see if I can like simplify any of this, but 9 can't simplify with 11 and 10 also can't simplify with 11. So I'm going to have to multiply this straight across. 9 times 10. It's 90. What's 11 times 11? That is 121. Now can this reduce any? Let's see. No, I don't think it'll reduce any more than that. So it's just 90 over 121. Again, just a review. Alright, let's look at number 6. It says an aircraft flies at an average speed of 600 miles per hour. The expression 600t gives the distance traveled by the aircraft in t hours. Find the distance traveled by the aircraft in 8 hours. So let's think about that one. They're telling us the aircraft flies an average of 600 miles per hour, and we're traveling for 8 hours. So what is the distance traveled then? If I...
4,800 miles?
Yeah, because the aircraft flies 600 miles per hour, and we're traveling for 8 hours. And they actually give you the expression here, 600 times t. And our t here is 8. This is 4,800. And this is 4,800, and what's our unit here? Distance. Distance is not a miles per hour, it's a miles, yeah. So we went 4,800 miles. So again, 600 miles per hour, there were 8 hours, so 4,800. All right, what about number 7 here? It says an aircraft cost $2,984 per hour to operate. And they give us this expression, 2984t, the total cost to operate the aircraft for t hours. Find the total cost to operate the aircraft in 5.3 hours. So what do you do with this information? I have 2,984. They give me some expression, and then I have 5.3. What do I do here? Yeah, it's pretty much the same as number 6, right? So 2,984. So this is our operating cost per hour, and we're going to do this for 5.3 hours. So this is what we need to multiply. So 2,984 times 5.3 is 15,850 15.2. Whoa, let's cut that off, please. Make sure before you get in here to cut your electronics off. Now, let's look at this. This number here, what's it a representation of? It's a cost. So this cost should be written as what? How can I write this as money? First of all, I need what behind this 2? I need a 0 here to represent my 20 cents. And then this is in dollars. So it's $15,815.20. So you want to make sure we're in the correct units. So this is in money. Number 6 was actually talking about miles because we're a distance. And then the previous one was in square feet because we actually did an area formula. So that was number 7. Let's look at number 8. Negative 5 squared.
Negative 25.
So this is actually negative 25. This problem is actually to make sure you understand the difference between negative 5 squared and then negative 5 squared. What's the negative 5 squared in parentheses?
Negative 5 times negative 5.
This is negative 5 times negative 5, which is what?
25.
This one is positive 25. This one says take the opposite of 5 squared. So 5 squared is 25, and the opposite of 5 squared is negative 25. These are 2 completely different problems. You need to be careful with that. I see students miss this all the time. These are not equal. Even if you put this in a calculator, they'll give you 2 different answers because they are 2 separate problems. Parentheses and outside of parentheses, 2 different things. So this one is a negative 25. If we went back to this number 4 problem, if they wrote negative 3 squared like this, then this one would be what? What's this? This one is the one that is negative 9. Again, the parentheses make a difference with these. But number 8 is negative 25. Number 9 says use the distributive property to define the product of the following. This is 5 times x and also 5 times 2. When I'm doing 5 times x, this is just 5x, and then 5 times 2 is just 10. Again, this is just a review. I know some of you are like, really? But yeah, it's just a review. For like those of you who maybe haven't taken math class in a while, got to get warmed up. Or if you've taken it and just kind of forgot some stuff. Just a review. What is absolute value? Anybody know what absolute value is?
The distance of whole numbers to 0.
Yeah, distance from 0. So, if we're looking at the absolute value of 7, what's the absolute value of 7?
7.
What does this negative sign in front mean?
This is negative 7.
Yeah, this is negative 7. Because again, absolute value is distance from 0. Distance from 0. What's the absolute value of negative 7 then?
7.
It's still 7. Because negative 7 is still 7 units from 0. And you can look at that on the number line. So negative 7 is still 7 units from 0. Positive 7 is also 7 units from 0. And this last one, number 12. Simplify the following expression. So this 1/4, and we're distributing it to both of these numbers. So it's 16 divided by 4.
4.
And then negative 32 divided by 4.
Negative 8.
All right. This minus sign goes to both of these numbers, or minus 1/2. So this 16 divided by negative 2 is what?
Negative 8.
That is negative 8. And actually this one has a negative 8x. Negative 7 divided by negative 2. What's a negative divided by a negative? Is it positive or negative? That is positive. And this is actually a fraction. 7/2. So again, 16 divided by 4. Negative 32 divided by 4. This negative is with the 1/2. So 16x divided by negative 2. And negative 7 divided by negative 2 is actually a positive, because a negative divided by a negative is positive. 7/2 y. And then let's add our like terms. I have an x here, and then another x here. So 4x minus 8x. That's negative 4x. Again, if you want to, anybody here have a bank account, or at least familiar with bank accounts? Your positive numbers represent money that you have in the bank. Your negative numbers represent money that you owe the bank. So let's say you're overdrawn. Hopefully you don't get overdrawn, because that's an issue if you get overdrawn. But let's say you're overdrawn. So in this case, you have $4 in the bank, but you spent 8. So you spent 4 more than what you had, basically, if you ever get confused on negative numbers. Can I add a negative 8 with this 7/2 y? No, I can only add a y with another y. So 7/2 y is alone, and then so is this negative 8. Like, there's nothing else I can do with that. Alright, so that is pretty much your first homework assignment. Again, when you sign into my math lab, the numbers will be different, but the procedure will be the same. Anybody got any questions on that very basic review, 1 through 12? Alright. Technically, that's all I have for today. So, I don't know, bye.